Chaos Spear! Le shouted out, as he unleashed 5 chaos spears, at a target on a wall. Boom! 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 Le was currently in the lab, training inside a test chamber with some stuff on his body that the scientists overseeing him were using to collect data. Growling, Le growled as he stared at the singed but mostly unharmed target on the reinforced metal wall. More! Le charged more chaos spears in between his hands and launched them at the target. Boom! 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 Recharge speed reduced by 20%. Power increased by 15%. One of the scientists reported to Mai, who was overseeing everything. Stress on the body has increased by 5%. Interesting, Mai said as he looked over at Lo. Maybe the frustration and anger is helping him hone his powers more. If we could get that same focus while at the same time being calm, maybe we could get him to optimize his chaos energy usage. Chaos Javelin! Le shouted, as he quickly charged 2 red energy attacks in his hands, before launching them at the wall. Kaboom! Kaboom! The 2 attacks hit the wall hard, causing the room to shake, and making very small cracks. Recharge time reduced by 50%. Strain on body increased by 20%. One of the scientists reported. Chaos Javelin! Le shouted, as he put even more into the attack, and launched it at the wall, making even bigger cracks appear. And Li's inhibitor rings started to glow. Power increased by 20%. Strain on body increased by an additional 15%. One of the scientists said. Inhibitor ring starting to overheat. Le, slow it down. You're starting to go overboard. Mai said into the mic, speaking to Le over the speakers in the chamber. TCH. Le was tempted to just ignore her, but he knew he'd worry Maria if he went much further. Damn it. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX analysis chamber. Alright, everything's stable. You should dash. Can you turn me into a cyborg? Le suddenly asked. Mai's eyes went wide, very much off-put by the sudden question. Excuse me? My body is too damn weak, Le said, looking down at himself with disdain. So if we turned me into a cyborg, then maybe I could use my powers better. If I could have just kept going a little bit more after using Chaos Missile, then I could have beaten up that Frost guy and gotten Kiba back. But because I was too weak, Kiba's gone, and Midoriya running around looking he's about to kill someone. Mai sighed. We have looked into doing cybernetic augmentations. However, our experiments, while successful, have only been done on small animals, such as rats. We've never tried doing anything like that on a human, and we don't know what might happen. And with you, it gets even more complicated. Remember, your body reacts to chaos energy the same way everyone else does. And your quirk is so unique, and quite frankly, unpredictable, that messing with it to any significant degree could have drastic consequences. Like your death. TCH. Le spat, a look of frustration overtaking his face. Can't we do anything about this? The only thing you can do is practice, Mai told him. Right now, your use of chaos energy is not exactly practical, leading to a lot of wasted energy, leading to you getting exhausted much faster. It may be slow, but it's safe. And safety is our #1 priority. Got it? Le didn't look satisfied by that answer at all, but he also knew he had no choice but to accept it. Got it. Knock knock knock. Come in, Mai said, turning her attention to the door. A scientist walked in. Ma'am, there's been a sudden development with the shadow fractals. We'd like you to take a look. Got it, Mai said, before turning back to Le. Sorry, but I have to go see this. I get it. It's always busy around here. Le said, before teleporting away back to his room. Yami always found himself dealing with the same issue. Power. No matter how many Grimm he created, it seemed all they could do in the face of sheer overwhelming power was stall for time. Even with the negative energy magnet, he was still limited in what he could make. But no more. Now, not only had the battle filled him with a massive amount of negative energy, but there would also be another battle happening soon, that was sure to give him even more. Plus he didn't have to create anything like Monster again, so he got to focus all of it on this project. But that alone wasn't what gave him confidence in this newest Grimm. Because he had some materials that would help him make the best Grimm that he could. Alright kid, here it is. Dr. Hada said, handing Yami a small jar. In that jar was a smaller version of a chaos engine. A chaotic heart. Thank you, Yami said, giving them a bow of appreciation. Right now he didn't have enough power to create a proper vessel for this, but he knew that would change soon. Soon he would have Grimm who could stand up against the mightiest of foes. He just had to wait a little bit longer. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Meanwhile, in the botanist laboratory, was Fu, standing out in one of the testing yards. Achi was there with him, giving him a rather concerned look. Are you sure about this? It'll be fine. Mai said it wouldn't kill me. And what doesn't kill me, I can come back from. Fu said. Kaiosei wants this too. So I can't just back out now. And the Gammas are watching, so we don't need to worry if I go on a rampage. Achi sighed and shook her head. Oh, who am I kidding? After what happened with Kiba, I know there's no convincing you otherwise. Just, never mind. Here. Achi then handed him a vial, filled with red liquid. This was known as might concentrate. Most of the fruit from the tree of might was made up of water. So, naturally, Achi and her people juiced and distilled the fruit, creating pure might. This was even more potent than the might fruit, although its effects were even more dangerous. After what happened, Fu went looking for a way to increase his power, and the might fruit came up. Due to Fu's quirk, he figured out he could use the fruit, almost as much as he pleased, enhancing the power of both himself and Kaiosei. Only issue was that it tore up his body even faster than normal, but so long as he had a full meal after whatever fight he was in, that wouldn't be a problem. So naturally, the next question was, could he handle pure might? The answer was also yes. And so the next step in Fu's mind was to kick it up a notch. Or several. Might concentrate. Made by concentrating several glasses of pure might into one vial. If any normal person ingested this, they would die, almost immediately. After checking with Mai that this wouldn't affect Fu's chaos energy like the fractals might, she gave the thumbs up on allowing it to be tested. Under heavy supervision of course. After giving Fu the vial, Achi ran away, heading back to the relative safety of the lab. Fu looked at the vial and undid the cork. You ready, partner? Yes. Kaiosei said in his head. Alright. Fu lifted the vial up to his lips and drank it. A second later, everything went black. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX hospital room that was absolutely covered in blood. I'm guessing things didn't go well, Fu said to himself as he got to his feet. Hey Fu, said Dr. Hada's voice through a speaker. Looks like you're finally back to normal. What happened? Fu asked immediately. Well, the might concentrate sent you into a hunger-fueled rampage, and you and Kyosei turned into a giant flesh monster that tried to eat everyone, Hada explained. So we trapped you in here thanks to the gammas and kept feeding you animals until you went back to normal. So maybe stick to the regular pure might. Or just the fruit. Well, that sucks. Fu sighed. If only I could use the fractals. If only. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX ready for an operation. All for One was laid down on an operation table, his body was filled with tubes, wires, and other things. Next to him was a table, with various tools on it. And next to that was a separate table, with the Chaos Emerald that was acquired from Cooler, on it. Lastly, there was a vial, filled with something else Cooler had stolen from the Midoriya Foundation. A fluidized fractal, filled with Ares power. Yes, it is indeed a grievous loss. All for One side. Hearing that the descendant of Nana Shimura, All Might's precious master, was compatible with my quirk, and was easily moldable, filled my dead heart with joy. And all that time I spent on him. What a shame. Still, the results were far more positive than negative, don't you agree? Oh, absolutely. Garaki said, as he put on his gloves. The Chaos Emerald is worth at least 5 Tomuras. Hell, I'm kidding myself. Its value can't be compared to him. And thanks to our other treasures, we can make full use of it. Garaki went over to a machine, and put his hand on the button. Now then, shall we begin the operation? Yes, I'd like to have this done as soon as possible. All for One said. Very well. Good night, my master, and when you wake up. Garaki pressed the button. You will be a god. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX were no longer in the shape of long crystals, rather they were now perfect spheres, containing varying numbers of yellow lights inside them. From 1 to 7. They looked kind of like stars. We only just noticed the transformation. One of the scientists said, looking a little ashamed. It happened rather quickly, you see. Well, we already knew they were absorbing negative energy, but for them to rapidly transform. I took a closer look. That's not all that changed. One of the scientists said. The crystals have become harder, more durable, and they've gained certain unique properties to them. The two-star ball seems to releasing some sort of toxic gas, and makes the area around it hazardous. The three-star ball freezes anything it touches, while the four-star ball does the opposite, burning anyone it comes into contact with. The gift-star ball has been seen giving off electricity, while the six-star ball has started blowing wind and turning the air around it into water. Lastly, the seven-star ball absorbs organic matter. Another scientist explained. What about the one-star ball? I asked. That one has absorbed the most negative energy out of all of them, but it has yet to display any quirk-like abilities aside from that. A scientist explained. Interesting, I said, before sighing. Well, we don't have time to worry about these now. Keep them under surveillance but move on to other projects. Let's just hope this doesn't blow up in our faces.